Hi, I'm Virginia from Artful Interior Finishing. Thanks for checking back. This week I'm sharing part 1 of an 11-year-old girl's surprise bedroom makeover. I only had 6 hours to complete the transformation before she returned home from school. In order to utilize the time the best that I could, I decided to create all the custom artwork ahead of time. This makes a fun and easy do-it-yourself project for all you handy guys and gals out there. They make great Christmas gifts, and they also add a personal touch to any kid's room. Let's go over all the materials we'll be using to do this project. Canvas boards, 1 for every letter. I'll print out of each letter, enlarged to the size of our canvas. You don't have to make it too big, but you want it big enough where you'll be able to see it. I like to make the first letter a little bigger than the rest of them. Paints, you can use acrylic, you can use interior latex house paint. Ben Moore and Sherwin-Williams offers great sample sizes that range between $5 to $7. These are perfect for this project. We have our containers. Any size is good as long as you can fit your brush in it. The ones with covers are great for labeling and storing away for later use. We have painter's tape, sponge brushes, rags, a variety of different size brushes, paint opener, our white charcoal pencil, our white compressed charcoal, which we'll be using to rub on the back of each letter to transfer onto the canvas. And we have the first thing we want to do is give each board 2 coats of a base color. You can use the same color for each board. You can use different shades of that color, or you can use a different color for each individual board. It's completely up to you. Take into consideration the color scheme of the room. Look at the bedding. Look at the curtains. Is there an accent color in the room that you want to emphasize in the artwork? I'm a huge fan for utilizing that 5th wall that everyone forgets about, the ceiling. I love pulling that color and using it in the artwork. Now that we have our colors picked out, let's get started. So once your base coat is dry, you can then go ahead and apply your second coat. For one of my boards, I actually wanted to use a red. It would take up to 5 coats to cover red over a white canvas, so I went ahead and gave it a coat of dark gray or black. That'll help eliminate some of the coats. Okay, the next step, getting our design onto the canvas boards. Now we can get super creative with this. The options are endless. The sky's the limit when it comes to designing these boards. But I'm going to show you the easiest way to get a geometric pattern onto these boards. So what we're going to need is our white charcoal pencil, a sheet of paper, and some painter's tape. Now what I'm going to do is place the paper on the canvas, and I'm basically just going to outline the edges of the paper. Now keep in mind, the letter will sit inside of each of these box shapes. Now we don't want any 2 to be the same, especially if they're sitting next to each other. So the next one I might place maybe hanging off of the canvas, going the opposite way. Like this. And if you make a mistake, it's only white charcoal pencil. You can simply just dab a wet rag and erase it and start over. So the next one, I went there. Maybe this one I'll go in the bottom left-hand corner, and I'll flip the paper the opposite way, and I'll let it hang off the canvas. It's okay if it's not perfectly straight, because we're going to use painter's tape, and we can correct the edges with that. So this next one I might go up here, and maybe I'll show some red frame around this box here. Don't overthink it, just kind of go with it wherever you think. There we go. Okay, now we're going to take our painter's tape We're going to tape around the edges that we just outlined, and I might do 2 on the outside and 2 on the inside of the edges, and I'll show you what I mean. This one I'm going to tape it on the outside of the edge that I just made. That. And we need to make sure our canvas boards are dry, otherwise the paint will not stick. Now this green tape is great because it's a little less adhesive than the blue tapes are. So for fresh paint, it won't pull the paint off, where the blue tape might. Now that we have our basic shapes outlined on our canvas boards, the next thing we want to do is get our paints back out and start blocking in another layer of color. Okay, so a little tip when we're painting with tape, we don't want to brush the paint into the tape, we want to brush it away. That will prevent the paint from getting underneath the tape. The same thing with the edges. So your paint does not go over the edges, you want to brush in. You don't want to brush out because your bristles will actually touch the outer edge of the canvas and then you'll have marks on the outer edges. So try to brush in. Once we have our second color applied, you can go ahead and gently remove the painter's tape. Now I'm going to show you how to transfer each letter onto the canvas. You're going to need your letter and your white compressed charcoal, and you're going to turn it over and rub the charcoal onto the back of the paper. Now you need to determine where you want your letter to sit in the artwork. In order to do this, consider how your artwork is going to be laid up on the wall. Is it going to be straight across? Is it going to be staggered? This will help you determine where you want your letters to sit. Okay, now with a pencil, you're actually just going to trace over the letter. Don't worry if it's not perfect, that's okay. You want to press hard enough so the charcoal shows through, but not too hard because you don't want to pierce the canvas board. Okay, and this is what it'll look like. It's very light, just enough for you to see, but the good thing about the white charcoal is after, if there's any lines revealing, you can wash them away with a damp cloth. Now that we have all of our letters transferred onto the boards, we can go ahead and start painting them in. Check back next week when we reveal part 2 of our bedroom makeover, and you'll see how this artwork adds a pop of color in an otherwise neutral setting. I like to mix a lot of neutral colors in with 1 or 2 pops of color. I find that that works the best for a standard room. Why does this have to be so hard? Okay. Let's try it again. Hi. No. I'll try one more. I'll do one more. But if not, that passes. That passes. We have 2. Maybe I'll do one more. Okay. That sounds really dumb. I think everyone can understand that. What do you think? Okay. Then you're going to take your letter and your board and you're going to place it wherever you want the letter to be positioned. Now you want to take into cut. That was potential. Let's try one more. That wasn't bad. Okay. Okay, that was pretty good. Hallelujah!